Dear students, welcome back to Bishop Academy online classes. At this time, we are going on with chapter 2nd of history. In the very first slide of this chapter, you get the glimpse of the chapter, the establishment of company power. Here are the slides to which you study, that is impact of modern period, major development during 18th century in India, main sources of the history of modern India, and after that second, the establishment of company power, in which you have to study about the what attracted Europeans to India and trade by Portuguese, map of the India at that time, Dutch, French, British, and in last classes you study the establishment of company power, growth of East India Company, and here various type of stages of company growth which get discussed with you last time. In the same series, today we have to get discussed over the decisive battles of Englishmen in India. In last video, we get discussed over the Battle of Plassey. Today, we have to go on with the Battle of Buxar, which is the second most decisive battle of India in reference to Britishers. It is the first battle in which British proved their military mights. As in the Battle of Plassey, we find that though the Englishmen get succeeded, but there is a blame over Britishers that they could not compete with the armies of Nawab of Bengal, as Mir Jafar, which is the commander of the Bengal army, could not participate in the battle. That is why most of the historians considered that Battle of Plassey is not the epitome of military mights of Britishers. This battle, Battle of Buxar, is considered as the epitome of British military might. Now you have to know the causes. So here you find, after the Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar appointed as the Nawab of Bengal, but Mir Jafar did not fulfill the increasing demands of company officials, so he was disposed, and at the place of Mir Jafar, his son-in-law Mir Qasim become the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim is an ambitious ruler, and that is why it started to control the company power in Bengal, and due to it Mir Qasim have to fight various battles with company. In 1763 he was defeated in the series of battle and have to fled to Awadh. Okay? And there Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II also joined them, and once again they tried to recapture Bengal. Okay? And due to it the battle held in Buxar, which is a place near Patna, Bihar. Result: British army under Hector Munro succeeded in defeating combined armies of Mir Qasim, that is the Nawab of Bengal, Shuja-ud-Dawla, Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam II, the Mughal emperor. The Treaty of Allahabad signed, and company become prominent power of India. As you find, already we get discussed in the Battle of Plassey that British get power to what you called have Diwani from Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. In this treaty, Mughal emperor also approved it. Now you have to know about relation of the English with Nizam, which is the prominent power of South India. Nizam of Hyderabad had good relationship with the French. In the beginning, during the Third Karnataka War, Salbat Jung deserted the French and joined the English because these French did not provided required support to Nizam of Hyderabad. Along with it, their relation remained friendly with English up to 1795, but when Maratha annexed or attacked over Nizam at that time, English do not help them. That's why once again the Nizam converted towards French. Next, Lord Wellesley succeeded in making better treaty and also affirmed the Nizam that he or the company could not help him in absence of appropriate treaty. So, if Nizam want help of Englishman, then he have to go on with a new treaty that come to be known as subsidiary alliance. And you remember, Nizam of Hyderabad was the first person to adopt this treaty in India. I already told you in previous slides that this treaty was prepared by French Governor General Dupleix. Now you have to know about relation of the English with Mysore. So Mysore have bitter relation with Englishmen because both of these powers wanted to spread their boundaries, and that's why fight with each other become very quite clear. There are 4 wars fought from 1767 to 1798 between English and Mysore kingdom, out of which first 2 battle has been fought by Tipu Sultan's father Hyder Ali, and later 2 battle means 3rd and 4th Mysore war has been fought by Tipu Sultan and Englishmen. In the 4th battle, Tipu Sultan died while fighting with Englishmen. Okay? And at that time, after the death of Tipu Sultan, British get victory over French, as no Indian ruler, powerful ruler or prominent ruler which having influence over other rulers remain in support of French. So due to it, Englishmen become the powerful person or group within India. Now you have to know about the struggle with Marathas. So here you find company's relation with Maratha always remain hostile, because same thing, both these powers wanted to expand their boundaries. There are 4 wars fought from 1775 to 1818. Maratha power uprooted during 4th Maratha war, and with a Indian ruler, fear disappeared to British. Means now after the 4th Maratha war, Englishmen have no fear about Indian ruler, because most of the Indian rulers has been suppressed by them. Now you have to know about annexion of the Sindh. By the end of 18th century, the Baluchi chief named Amir among Amir established their kingdom, or you can say a small what you call tribal group in Tejpur. Okay? No, Tejpur tribe, name of the tribe is Tejpur, which established their rule in Sindh. Is that clear to you? Baluch chief of which tribe? Tejpur tribe established their rule in Sindh. Sindh nowadays it is in Pakistan. English wanted to extend their influence to Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is within the trade rule between East and West. That's why to control the trade properly, Englishmen need control over Afghanistan. In 1809, English concluded their first treaty with the Amirs of Sindh, in which they developed mutual understanding, and in 1833, Lord William Bentinck concluded a trade treaty without arms. In this treaty, William Benkett make it clear that we are only need a way to trade with Afghanistan and from Western countries, okay, and the Amir of Sindh accepted it, but in 1839 Auckland marched across Sindh to Afghanistan, and at that time Amir of Sindh remained quiet, and with the passage of time in 1843 Amirs were forced out of Sindh, and the Britishers control the entire area of Sindh, that is present time Pakistan. Now you have to know about annexion of Punjab. So company's relation remained hostile with the Sikhs from beginning. During the reign of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, that has been building the Golden Temple of Amritsar, okay, and both these powers, Sikhs and Englishmen, wanted to increase their boundaries, and that's why fighting become quite clear. They fought a series of war, many wars, fight from 1845 to 1849, out of which the most decisive battle is considered as the Battle of Chilianwala Bagh, in which British had to face the Sikh soldiers, what you called resistance, even in absence of their leaders. At that time, their leader, means leader of Sikh army, get associated with Englishmen, but still the Sikh soldier fight with English troops, and due to it British pleased with Sikhs, and after the war they provided them dignified post in Sikhs, and after this Sixth war they also created a Sikh regiment in their army, which still go on. So thank you. I think I provide you sufficient study material related to this chapter. On next day we have to get discussed over the various aspects of East India Company that provided it capacity to control India, which things are good in their administration or in their public relation. Entire these things could be discussed in the next video. Have a good day.